From a limited outside perspective, the world of One Piece comes off as bright and goofy. I mean, the main character is a rubber man who has a talking skeleton and Tanuki as members of his pirate crew. Of course, if you look a little closer, you see that it's full of endless adventure and epic moments that go head to head with the greatest moments in just about any series. Now, if instead of looking closer, you truly dived into the world of One Piece, you'd find that while it does have very bright and jolly moments, right next to that in equal amounts, you'll find darkness. The world of One Piece is very dark, and so in this video we'll be going over what we consider the top 5 darkest things in One Piece's story. To be clear, we will be stating these as opinions, you're free to disagree. We only ask that if you disagree with the rankings, we'd like you to comment what order you think they should be listed. And if we simply don't list something you find worthy of being mentioned, comment that as well. We of course appreciate positivity and a nod here and there, so if you agree with the list also, let us know that as well. We've only recently begun uploading One Piece content, so if you enjoyed and want more, please be sure to hit that like button to help us out and subscribe to alarm notifications on to never miss an upload. We upload just about daily and we'd love to have you join in on our discussions. Now let's get into this top 5, with number 5 being the least dark of the list and number 1 being the darkest. To get us started, we have number 5, Kuma. Now, Kuma is perhaps one of the most intriguing characters in all of One Piece. He was once a king, once a pirate, a warlord, a member of the Revolutionary Army, and now essentially a plaything for the Celestial Dragons. It's much worse than that though. He was originally a human, but through modifications by Dr. Vegapunk, over time he became a cyborg. Prior to this, Kuma was of course very capable. He was a very vicious pirate at one time after all. However, through these modifications, he became more durable and gained the ability to fire like laser beams from his eyes, among other things. These are in addition to the abilities granted to hmi by his Nikyu Nikyu no Mi Devil Fruit. With it, Kuma has the ability to push and repel things. With it, he can use air as a projectile weapon and even send targets flying anywhere in the world. Something we saw him do when splitting the Straw Hats up prior to the 3D 2Y time skip. The modifications on Kuma not only gave him new abilities, but through that, the Pacifista cyborgs were developed, essentially clones of Kuma minus the fact that they of course do not have his Devil Fruit abilities. Even Kuma himself has been labeled as a pacifista at this point. His title is PX0. As time went on, Kuma has become less and less human, and after he'd spent years protecting the 1,000-year Sunny ship, the next time he made an appearance, he was no longer himself. Why Kuma became a pacifista is currently unknown, but for him to go from a pirate and Revolutionary Army member free to roam the sea to now a high-end slave for Celestial Dragons is just dark. In Mary Joyce, he is now referred to as the Invincible Slave, and there's a whole rental list for who gets a turn with him. They stab and hit him to see no reaction. Kuma can't even scream in agony. Seeing this, his former Revolutionary Army comrades were heartbroken. They intend to save him, but no freeing him from the slave owners alone won't bring him back to his old self. In the words of his former comrades, it's because he was the king of an allied nation that they used him as an example, that even the hardest man will turn out like this if he should defy the gods. With the way things are now, to call him Bartholomew Kuma isn't accurate. He's now less than a shell of his former self, and it's more accurate to refer to him as PX0. What do you guys think? Will we ever see Kuma make an appearance again, or is that character forever gone? Let us know in the comments. At number 4, we have the Buster Call on Ohara. In the world of One Piece, a Buster Call is the deadliest military action possible. It's very rare, but when it's used, it is pure chaos. Its intended purpose is usually to destroy people who are believed to be dangerous to the world government. Only 10 people have the ability to initiate a Buster Call, and once it's been initiated, it seems that it cannot be rescinded, and the details of it are no longer important. It's just destroy everything. And once initiated, 5 vice admirals and a fleet of 10 ships closest to the location make their way over. Everything is destroyed without care for the innocent. Total justice is used to decimate the island. Ohara was an island in West Blue with a large number of archaeologists living there. There was not much else there. It was also notably the home of Nico Robin and the 5,000-year-old Tree of Knowledge. Once the world government knew that Ohara was studying the poneglyphs and the Void Century, it was over. They knew too much and couldn't be left alone to continue this. One of the main archaeologists, Clover, would even come to reveal that the enemy of the past was perhaps the world government itself. The Buster Call would be sent and Ohara would be destroyed, and all the people along with it, including Robin's mother, who she had literally just met. They shared little to no time together before the Buster Call made it so they would never again meet. The poneglyphs are large indestructible stones written in an ancient script. They're scattered throughout the world and contain ancient history, as well as the details to finding Laugh-Tale. It's believed that currently Nico Robin is the only person in the world capable of reading them, and she's a criminal now because of this alone. Robin did not manage to survive the Ohara Buster call by chance or skill. She was actually allowed to escape by Aokiji, but he warned her that he is not her ally and also told her if she ever tries anything, he will be the one to capture her. Again, everyone else faced a horrible end. Some of them literally burned away with the Tree of Knowledge after doing the best they could to preserve some of the history present on the island. Following these events, Robin would be on the run for like 20 years and be labeled as the Demon of Ohara. The world government would lie, of course, and tell everyone that the scholars of Ohara were researching the ancient weapons so that they could destroy the world. This was not true, and it was purely propaganda and a way of making the secret Buster Call mission appear righteous. The people of Ohara were simply trying to protect the voices of the past, and it got them all demonized and killed. Of course, with the exception of Robin, who now lives on with their dreams after all the pain the world government has caused her. Up next, we have number 3. Any guesses on what it might be? Let's see if you got it right. Number 3 is the Dressrosa toys. When you hear of toys, you most likely imagine a plaything for children. However, in Dressrosa, toys were intelligent beings capable of thought. They were originally humans and animals, but were turned into toys by Sugar's Hobby no Mi fruit abilities. While toys retained their original memories, everyone else who knew them prior to their transformation no longer has any memories of them. No matter how close they were, they could have been siblings, spouses, or parents. It made no difference. A pretty disturbing devil fruit ability. Toys in Dressrosa coexisted with humans, and from the outside it looked like a really pleasant union. But this was of course just an illusion. It gets worse though, because the toys really did not have free will. The majority of them had their behaviors decided by contracts Sugar placed on them with her devil fruit ability. So in reality, toys weren't happy. They were miserable on the inside. Imagine being trapped inside of a body that's not yours, unable to express your pain, or even interact with those you once shared meaningful bonds with. There were also rules in place in Dressrosa. For example, toys were not allowed in human homes, and humans were not allowed in a toy's home. Their contact was very controlled. While toys kept their memories, again, for most of them they had no free will. Some did though, if they managed to avoid having Sugar place a contract on them, which would have robbed them of their personality and free will. If a toy was found to be acting too human, they were said to have an illness and be thrown into the scrap bin. Dark stuff, but this is number 3, so of course it gets darker. At number 2, we have the Mary Joyce, slaves, and in general, slavery in One Piece. In the world of One Piece, the Celestial Dragons can do whatever they please, and owning slaves is one of those things seen numerous times. We've already touched on one case of it actually in this video, with the current state of Kuma or PX0. But of course it doesn't end there, it never does. One of the most memorable cases of slavery in this world of One Piece for me was at Marijoa during the Reverie. The Reverie is a council by the world government where kings and queens from around the world gather to discuss matters of the future, and this meeting has the ability to impact the whole world. On their way to the location, a large group traveling in Marijoa traveled on a path where they felt the ground move, essentially in the way that a conveyor belt does. They were told this invention is called the Travelator, and with it, the ground carries itself. Fukabushi had a bad feeling about this invention, and so he thought up an excuse to avoid using it. And he couldn't have been more right with this intuition because this invention was utilizing slaves. Beneath the surface, there were slaves being whipped and forced to keep the ground moving at just the right speed. Not too fast, not too slow. One man can even be seen begging for someone to help him or at least kill him. This form of torture was so bad that this man would rather be dead. Slavery in One Piece isn't everywhere and isn't practiced by everyone, but the Celestial Dragons happily partake in this. They even brand slaves with marks, further labeling them as less than human. Slaves were not even just the weak being picked on. There are cases of people with high bounties becoming slaves as well. In the world of One Piece, no one can defy a Celestial Dragon, and so there's no one to help them because this would mean death for said individual. Of course, there are rare cases where an individual like Luffy will do the right thing, but cases like these are of course rare. There's also the story of Fisher Tiger, who went to Mary Joyce and freed as many slaves as he could. He would go on to form the Sun Pirates with Jinbei and turn the Celestial Dragon mark into a sun, the symbol for the Sun Pirates. With this new symbol, it would be harder for officials to know who was once a slave. A little bit of light in this dark story, but yeah, they have auctions and even explosive collars that go off when slaves try to escape, so this is no little thing in the world of One Piece. Now we've made it to the end, what we consider the darkest thing in all of One Piece. And again, if you disagree with the order of this list or think we're forgetting something, let us know in the comments. This is simply our opinion. Now, at number 1, we have Big Mom's backstory. Now, some of you may be thinking, how can this one character's backstory be darker than slavery and mass destruction? But bear with me, let's talk about it. The origin of Big Mom's natural strength is a mystery, as she was born to 2 normal parents. Despite this, Lin Lin has always been abnormally strong. At the age of 5, she was banished from her home because of the destruction she often caused. Feeling like they had no choice, her parents abandoned her on Elbaf, hoping that Mother Caramel would take her in. After being alone for a while, Lin Lin was eventually taken in by Mother Caramel, who took care of children of all types and backgrounds. Here she would continue to cause damage and pain for others. There was even a case where she, as ridiculous as it sounds, tried to get a bear and wolf to get along. The bear would eventually of course eat the wolf, and being upset about it, Lin Lin would slap it, causing it to die. So yeah, there were weird cases like this. There was at one time a festival which required all the residents of Elbaf to fast for 12 days, but on the 7th day, Lin Lin finally snapped due to her hunger and went on a rampage yet again, in the process destroying much of the village and taking down even giants. Displeased with her actions, Droll would attack, but she would of course counter this and leave the man with wounds, later leading to his death. She would later remember none of this and again need a new home. Caramel would take Lin Lin and the other children to a new location, where for a time again, they found peace. Note that despite all the chaos, the other children still did not resent Lin Lin. They were the only people so far to accept her. Things would reach new levels of crazy here though at the new home when Lin Lin's 6th birthday came around. They would have a party with food and tea, and so you could imagine Lin Lin was extremely happy now. She had a home with people that enjoyed her company, and the food as well gave her joy. She began crying tears of joy as she ate the meal, and through those tears she could not see very clearly. She would eat and eat as she cried. When she finally finished eating, she would realize she ate the table and chairs, but there was something else strange going on. Everyone was now gone. Only scraps of clothing were left behind. Her tears of joy would now turn to tears of pain. They had left her, they abandoned her. Or at least that's what she believes. What really happened is she ate them. In her vicious eating, Lin Lin, Big Mom, ate the only thing close to family she had ever known. She was now alone again. Alone. And when I first saw this, I couldn't believe it. How could something this dark be in One Piece? She ate children. She ate everyone. It's insane. You have to realize she would have been chasing them around and even fighting off Caramel to eat everyone. They wouldn't just sit there and be eaten. So she was that lost in madness that she could not see or even perceive what was going on. To do something like this and not know is just crazy. From eating them all, she would gain Mother Caramel's Devil Fruit ability as well, but how she got this power is a mystery to Big Mom. Will she ever know or acknowledge what really happened? We'll have to wait and see. It's even darker than that because Mother Caramel was actually a fraud. In reality, she was a child trafficker who sold off children to the world government to be trained as Marines or Cypher Pole agents. So in reality, she was going to sell Big Mom someday. Lin Lin up to this point was really always alone, even when she didn't realize it. But yeah, that ends our list of the top 5 darkest things in One Piece. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to drop a like to let us know you want more One Piece content, and subscribe to Plot Armor with notifications on. We upload just about daily, and we'd love to have you join in on our discussions. If you'd like to support the channel even further, check out our Patreon link in the description below, and check out our Instagram and Twitter pages where we keep you up to date on all things anime and manga, do giveaways, and interact with you guys in ways that we can't on YouTube. With that said, until next time, keep that Plot Armor on you. I am KJ. Have a great day. Goodbye.